Well, it would seem as if Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has just dropped an absolute bombshell detailing his plans to completely overhaul Facebook, and honestly, I have a feeling you guys are going to like this. Now, Facebook boasts over 3 billion monthly active users, almost half the planet, and as such, Zuckerberg is easily one of the most influential people in the world, just in a less in-your-face kind of way, because he controls the algorithms, the moderation policy, and ultimately has the final say on what content makes it onto your content feed. Now, just earlier today, Mark Zuckerberg made one of the biggest announcements in Facebook history. He's about to drastically change the way the Facebook algorithm and moderation policy works, embracing a much more free speech approach. Take a look at this.
Hey everyone, I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there.
And so everything he says here right off the bat is 100% true. As I'm sure all of you know, for around half a decade, right-wing commentary on the internet was massively throttled, with right-wing commentators being industrially banned and suspended all over the place. I mean, hey, it was just 4 years ago that big sites like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch banned Donald Trump, who was still the sitting president of the United States of America. Now, Zuckerberg goes on to talk about their historically overly complex moderation systems. Take a look at this.
But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
And now, to be clear, progressive freedom of expression was never really censored, was it? So what he really means to say is that conservatives are going to be able to share their thoughts again.
More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes, similar to X, starting in the US. After Trump first got elected in 2016, the legacy media wrote non-stop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy. We tried in good faith to address those concerns without becoming the arbiters of truth. But the fact-checkers have just been too politically biased and have destroyed more trust than they've created, especially in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system.
Ironically, the real threat to our democracy is the mainstream media and progressive elite looking to control what information people have access to on the internet. But okay, so he's effectively adopting the KISS strategy. Keep it simple, stupid. Let the people moderate themselves with a feature like Community Notes, which has proven to be highly effective on Elon Musk's Twitter.
Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. What started as a movement to be more inclusive has increasingly been used to shut down opinions and shut out people with different ideas, and it's gone too far. So I want to make sure that people can share their beliefs and experiences on our platforms.
Now, I'll tell you what, the progressives are not going to like this one because, as you and I both know, progressive ideology completely crumbles when exposed to even the slightest amount of scrutiny.
Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action.
So now I'm curious. I want to try something with you guys. I'm going to pin a comment down below at the very top of the comment section, and I want you guys to comment on it if you've ever been shadow banned or automatically had your comments deleted or anything similar to that, because I think what he just talked about is actually a really big problem. And hey, while you're down there, if you guys enjoy the videos, please consider subscribing to the channel because it helps a lot. I feel like every day that I upload videos, I'm always combating the YouTube algorithm beast, and I'll tell you what, the best weapon I have to combat that beast is you guys. But okay, let's get back to Mark Zuckerberg's master plan.
Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. So we stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive.
Now, this one I honestly have a little bit of a hard time believing because between you and me, it seems like progressive content on Facebook wasn't ever really throttled back. Most certainly conservative content was, that's for sure. But okay, so the point is, conservative content on Facebook is making a comeback.
Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams.
So this is funny because this is effectively a subtle admission that Silicon Valley tech bro Californians are some of the most progressively biased people on the face of the planet. But I would also take a guess that one huge reason he's moving his moderation teams from California to Texas of all places is because of the hellscape that Governor Gavin Newsom has created. As I'm sure you've noticed, a lot of businesses are actively leaving California.
Finally, we're going to work with President Trump to push back on governments around the world that are going after American companies and pushing to censor more. The US has the strongest constitutional protections for free expression in the world. Europe has an ever-increasing number of laws institutionalizing censorship and making it difficult to build anything innovative there. Latin American countries have secret courts that can order companies to quietly take things down. China has censored our apps from even working in the country. The only way that we can push back on this global trend is with the support of the US government. And that's why it's been so difficult over the past 4 years when even the US government has pushed for censorship. By going after us and other American companies, it has emboldened other governments to go even further.
And so this is also 100% true. In fact, you might remember that Zuckerberg has gone on the record saying that the FBI reached out to him during the whole Hunter Biden laptop fiasco, ultimately compelling him to censor the story because it was deemed misinformation by our Washington, D.C. elite. Well, yeah, as it would turn out, they lied. And so presumably it's this exact sort of government interference that Mark Zuckerberg is not happy about. You know what? Me too. All right, we can work together on this. Our government shouldn't be reaching out to social media platforms telling them which stories are illegitimate and which stories are legitimate. That's for us to decide. But that pretty much wraps up Mark Zuckerberg's plan to overhaul Facebook. And so we can sit here all day and question his sincerity. Would he be doing this if Donald Trump had lost the election? Who's to say? But regardless, the fact that this is happening is most certainly a good thing. Maybe now, between Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook and Elon Musk's Twitter, the age of overt, draconian internet censorship is beginning to fade away behind us. But hey, this is a really big topic and a much longer video than normal, so on this one, I want to know what you guys have to say, so please go down below and drop a comment. Please like the video if you liked it. Please subscribe. It helps a ton, and it really goes a long way. Thank you all very much for watching, and as always, stay safe.